I have and still have moments of experiencing that stage fright or the nerves, as you'll call it. So I have 5 simple strategies to share with you so we don't fight the stage fright or we don't fight the nerves, because anything we fight exacerbates it, correct? So we're going to work with it. So these strategies are going to help you work with it to then use those nerves for fuel. So number
so
one,
like if you're going to throw up, make it part of your presentation.
yes, baby,
That's
go
what
with
I'm
it.
talking about.
That's it. In the performing world, we always say the show must go on. So so it's number one strategy, understanding that you are not alone. The biggest celebrities in the world, the biggest film actors in the world have stage fright. And I can share this with you because I've had the honor of working with many of them. And it always shocked me because, like many of you, I had that comparison syndrome where I always believed, oh, they're so great. I'm just not good at this. I just can't do it. I get too nervous. Until I realized, oh, wait a second, Renee. You're not alone. Everyone experiences this. So when you start to feel yourself get riled up, realize, oh, you know what? I'm not alone. I got this. You know what? Those people that I watch on TV and on Instagram and social media, they feel it too. So I can get through this. And think about the hard things you've done in your life. Make a list for yourself. I encourage you to do this after this training today. Think about the obstacles you've faced in your life and the hard things you've gotten through. And I can assure you, they are much harder than getting on a stage, whether that's virtual or in person. So that's number one. Number two, movement. I cannot tell you how important this is. Research shows time and time again a direct connection between moving your body and improved cognitive performance. Why is this important? Because when we move our bodies, it allows our brains to focus in and also allows us to calm our nervous systems down. When I was in college, I had an acting teacher who told us that some of the best performances come when you are the most exhausted. Why is this? Because when you're exhausted, you don't have that excess energy that causes you to fidget, that causes that voice that Pat was talking about to say, oh, you can't do this, you're not good enough. You're just exhausted. So you're just using that bare minimum energy that you have. So before you get on a stage, before you speak on Zoom for a presentation, move your body. For me, that looks like putting on my favorite song or songs. I create for myself the hashtag Power Prep playlist. I invite you all to create one for yourselves with songs that pump you up, make you feel fired up and ready to go. And I dance around. I dance around while I'm getting ready because I'm moving the stagnant energy and allowing it to shift to fuel. So number one, understanding you're not alone. Number two, moving the body. Number three, transforming those nerves into excitement. My friends, nerves, it's just energy. All it is energy, and it just changes when we attach a label to it. So are you today going to attach the label of nerves or excitement? If you take a moment to become aware of when you feel nervous, those feelings that Pat just discussed, mouth going dry, I said heart racing, feeling like you're going to forget what you're going to say, whatever that is for you, think about when you're excited about something. Oftentimes those same physical sensations are present. When I'm excited, oh my gosh, my heart's racing, my mouth's going dry, I forget what I'm going to say. So what I have started to do for myself is I've started to label it excitement. And when I was performing in a Broadway show called Chaplin, there was one huge dance number that we would do, and I started to get really panicky about it, to the point where I was like, oh my goodness, this is holding me back. So I had to find a way to transform this for myself. So before I would go out for this big dance number and I would feel those physical sensations, instead of saying, oh my God, it's nerves, and allowing myself to concave, shoulders in, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I all of a sudden flipped the script and I was like, no, wait, I'm excited. I'm getting to do what I love for a big audience. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be great. And I would use it to fire myself up. So instead of labeling it nerves, label it excitement. So that's number 3. Number 4, embracing the silence. We are so afraid to take a pause because we think, if I take a second, they're going to think I forgot what I said and I'm going to mess up my whole talk. And oh my gosh, no one's ever going to come see me again. But what about when you're in a real conversation with someone you're comfortable with and that person has just spoken and now it's your turn to respond? When we are really listening, we need that second of silence. Because what you just said, it's really interesting. I never thought about that before, right? We need a second to absorb before we respond. When we are on stage doing our talk, sharing our message, embrace the silence. Because when you take a moment, the power of the pause, if you will, that pause can be your reset button. Little trick of the trade, everybody. You can take that moment of silence to take a deeper breath. If you feel like you're about to forget what you're going to say, take that second, grab your water, and that will allow you to calm your nervous system down and also avoid another trap we fall into, which is filling with filler words. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the reason these filler words become a part of our talk, a part of our message, is because we're afraid to take a pause. So embrace it and use it. Embrace the silence, my friends. And last on our list, this one's a good one. Prepare, prepare, prepare. I wrote it and said it 3 times because that's how vital it is. And when I say prepare, just as Pat shared with us before, I don't mean, okay, I wrote my talk out, I got all the bullet points, I did a couple drafts, cool. Memorize it in my head a couple times, I'm good to go. I mean preparing and practicing as close to the conditions you'll be in as possible. Let me offer you an example. I was on the 25th anniversary of the musical Cats, and I was what they call in the theater world a swing. And a swing is a person who covers several different roles at once. So I had to know 6 different roles because at any given moment, I would have to be ready to go on stage if one of those people were sick or got injured. So the way I would prepare was by being full out. I would stand as close to the stage as possible. You would see me in the wing, practicing full out, using my whole body, singing as much as I could without being a distraction, because I wanted to feel as close to being on that stage performing as I could. I could feel the heat of the lights. I pictured myself watching all of the faces of the audience members. And the reason I did that was to train my body and train my muscle memory to already be in the conditions. And by doing that, even practicing, if I forgot something, practicing moving forward with it. Because then when it was showtime, my body was already prepared, muscle memory. So practice and prepare in the conditions, like Pat was saying to us before. Don't just record yourself once. No. When I just did my TED Talk about a month ago, I would bring my family members and friends over to be my audience. I would put a ring light on to feel like I was in the lighting, and I would put on the pair of shoes that I was going to be wearing for the actual talk. Why? I didn't want one thing to throw me off, because when we're not prepared, that's when we get nervous. So preparation, and not just practicing, but practicing perfectly, as my dance teacher used to tell us, which means practicing under the conditions, that is what brings about confidence. So number 1, you're not alone. Understand you're not alone. Number 2, move the body. Number 3, transform those nerves into excitement. Number 4, embrace the silence. And number 5, prepare as close to the conditions as possible. And one more, here it is. It's not about perfection, it's about connection. At the end of the day, if you have put the focus on your audience and you've asked yourself, how can I serve and not worry so much about yourself? When you flub a little bit here, flub a little bit there, we don't care, because you have connected with us on such a deep level that we want more from you. It's not about perfection, it's about connection.